call this meeting to order. It's the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting, Thursday, July 24th, 2025, here at City Council Chambers, 910 South Friendswood Drive. First item of business is the oaths of office. Aubrey?
Yes, sir. So tonight we're swearing in 3 reappointed officers. So Marcus, Travis, and Marcia. If y'all want to all just stand up, we'll just do it all at the same time. Just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name.
I, Marcus Rives,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the commissioner, the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Commissioner
of Commissioner
of the Planning and Zoning Commission
of the Planning and Zoning Commission
for the City of Friendswood
for the
City of Friendswood,
of the State of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
of
and this state,
and the Charter and ordinances of the city.
and the Charter and ordinances of the city.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I could hear it in your voice. I so wanted to say, state my name.
I did too. I so badly did. So badly. So bad.
I knew you would do it. Okay, next item on the agenda is communications from the public. In order to comply with the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, the commission may not deliberate on subjects discussed under this agenda item. However, the commission may direct such subjects to be placed on a later regular commission agenda for discussion and or possible action. Adam, you signed up, and
My name's Adam Hill, 812 Briar Meadow. My goal tonight is to put this on an agenda item so we can talk about it. I've been a builder here for 30 years, done some developing. I've written down a little synopsis y'all can see. My objective is the city has a 35% max coverage, which is on a new home, which is developed from the actual air-conditioned floor space and then garage. And the city of Friendswood has more stringent setbacks than any other city around. I've given y'all site plans to show you that in League City, they have 10 foot on the rear setback. In Pearland, I showed you a site plan with 20 foot setbacks. We have a 10, 25, and 25, but we're not allowed to fill that envelope. And in my job, there's a lot of guys that want to stay here. One stories are very prominent. So the plans I've shown you is a 3,900 square foot one story with a 3-car garage that doesn't comply, but we are well within the setbacks. In fact, 32 feet on the back rear setback. So I think it's kind of antiquated. If you go to 40%, that's great. No other city around that I build in, they monitor impervious cover, but they don't. If you comply within the setbacks, you're able to build. And I look at it from the intent of the ordinance back in '97. I don't think they were thinking about drainage like we do now, but when we set up a subdivision for drainage, we're looking at the whole lot. You look at density, a lot of, and even myself, we go to a different zoning where we can do 50% coverage. We're not looking for anything like that, but the city of Friendswood, the 90-foot lots are kind of our thing. So we're going back to that. I just need to utilize within setbacks. And I think that this ordinance is, it's hindering us. And like I said, we're looking for 5% more. We're not looking for any more density or anything like that. But it's hurt me a few times along in the bill. And I think that the intent of what our city is about with a 1-story and empty nesters being able to stay here, we can go build a 55, 6,000 square foot 2-story on the same footprint. But it's just about guys that want to stay here and have a 1-story with a 3-car garage, kind of be able to get the cars off the street. So it's just looking at the intent of it and maybe having a little bit more conversation. We're developing the new Klein, old Klein site. And so it's going to hurt me a little bit whenever I have these guys that want to stay with us and stay in Friendswood, and they say, well, I can't go upstairs. So just start the conversation and look at it from my side. you have engineers that develop or design subdivisions, and you got me talking to moms, dads, and what we deal with, and try to make it work and look at what's in the best interest of the city, and I think it works. If you comply with the stringent setbacks of this town, which are more than anything that I've ever seen, we ought to be able to fill that envelope. And the drainage is accounted for. I don't think any more density is per acre. But I don't know, just put it on the agenda. Let's talk about it. That's my goal. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, seeing none. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. These items are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless a commissioner so requests, in which case the item would be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor? Pass. The next item is action items. Item A, consider approving a site plan amendment at 303 North Friendswood Drive to allow all-out off-road to build an addition to the existing building, additional parking, and a detention pond. Becky, Aubrey?
Yes, sir. So this is, there is currently an existing building on this property. It used to be, can't think of the name of it right now. Autotech,
yeah.
yes. I was thinking Protech, but I'm like, that's not right. Autotech, it's a building that's been, the metal building that's been there for a long time. So All Out Off-Road has purchased the property. They're looking at pretty much doubling the size of the building, adding garage bay doors. They don't front the thoroughfare, so they're compliant with the community overlay district. They are adding a glass front to the building, which will be a nice change and aesthetically pleasing on Friendswood Drive. If you're facing the property to the left, they're adding all the new parking spaces and then the required detention towards the back. As far as they're doing the 8-foot opaque fence, the landscape buffer across the back with the tree every 25 feet. There is some pretty thick vegetation back there, I think, on the residential property that is a natural buffer as well. But they meet all the landscaping requirements. The only kind of thing we did to work with them was the landscape buffer across the front. It's all concrete right now. And so the area right in front of the building, we opted to scoot the landscape buffer back a little bit, so the trees will be up next, closer to the building. And then on the new part on the left, if you're looking at the drawing on the top, the landscaping will be up against the street. There's already there's overhead power lines there. So the further we can push the trees back from those power lines, hopefully in the future we'll keep them from being cut with big B's in them or all the weird shapes that they're cutting because of the power lines. So that's the only really, I guess, alternative thing that they did was just those 3 trees on that one side.
Any discussion?
I got a question. So was there any concern from their point that we push those trees back and then it blocks their signage?
I don't think so. I think it was more of an issue of the concrete they're gonna have to bust out to add the trees.
Oh, okay.
I think they'd rather bust out the concrete closer to the building, but Troy's here, he can.
Yeah. Applicant's here.
But Troy Kennedy Architecture. The trees we're specifying for the front there were more about, I think they're crepe myrtles. They can be trimmed, pruned moderately, and the signage we're proposing is on 3 sides. And you can see barely in the rendering, it's 2 of the sides won't have any potential obstruction. This point has actually not come up at all by the client, so so we'll see.
I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
we weren't influencing something that later on that the
No.
client was going to be like, well, that stinks. So,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he prefers this, and I think for reasons Aubrey mentions, it makes a lot
Right.
more sense. It's going to dress the building up a little better, and the trees should be able to grow a little easier.
Okay, awesome. That was my only concern. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Looks good.
I had a couple questions.
Of course you did.
The first one being, are there requirements for landscape islands in the parking lot, or do we get around that because it's right there with all the frontage? And I don't have an issue with it. I just want to make sure we're not missing anything.
I think the little islands that they have shown, there's trees in each one of them, are considered the islands. So I think they should be compliant with that.
Okay. And my other question related to that is, do we need screening in front of the parking lot, like shrubbery?
Yes, we do.
So
But it should be 2-foot shrubs to screen the parking lot. You're right.
So does that need to be on this drawing?
Yes.
So
So, yeah.
been there, done that. So, those were my only thoughts.
Yeah, so whoever makes the motion can make the motion to include the 2-foot shrubs to screen the parking. That's per the community overlay district.
More questions? Do I have a motion?
I do have a question. There's a wall there, a green wall. There's a lot of shrubbery on the right side. Is that staying?
Green wall?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of vegetation on the right side.
Yeah,
Is that
there's
on their
so-
property though, or is that?
yeah, no, there's a residential driveway on the other side of that. And it probably belongs to the residential property.
We did have them label it on their plan. It says existing tree line.
Okay.
Yeah, they did want to keep that because it was all kind of existing and provided a lot of screening already.
All right, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve with the addition of the 2-foot screening of shrubbery for the parking lot.
A second?
All in favor? All right, next item is item B, consider approving a site plan amendment to 1757 South Friendswood Drive to allow Chick-fil-A to make 2 full drive-throughs.
So yeah, it's a pretty minor site plan amendment there. Currently, when you go on the Chick-fil-A site, it's 1 drive-through lane that turns into 2, and it continues to be 2 until you exit the drive-through. So this is just a tweak to make it 2. So it is taking out part of a landscaping island that had a tree in it, but they've adjusted their calculations. They still meet the minimum requirements. Their landscape buffer trees along South Friendswood Drive have died. The freeze and I think Beryl kind of did them in. So we are requiring them to reestablish those trees across the front of the property. We'll be verifying that at the time of the final inspection.
I see Stacy's ready.
I do have a question. So I noticed on the plan that the proposed trees along the street are, there's 4 bald cypress, and then I believe there were 8 magnolia, sweet bay magnolia. My question is really more of the bald cypress, I think, is an interesting selection for that tight of a space with that much concrete around it. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion would be that might not, there may be a better selection. They're a deciduous tree. They're going to make quite a bit of a mess in the fall with a bunch of vehicle traffic around there. I'm not saying I'm anti bald cypress. I actually have 2 at my house. I love them, but I'm questioning the placement of these. I don't know that I agree with that.
So just the type of the
the
tree.
type of tree, the
Okay.
type of tree.
Which would also, to piggyback on your point, then all winter it doesn't serve its purpose of being out front if there's no leaves on it and they're swirling about the road.
So those are on our approved tree list.
Yeah.
Though, correct?
They are, and
So we can make a recommendation, but
yeah,
they're
we
in
could,
compliance.
right. If they wanted to switch out the type of tree, we could improve that administratively. It's,
Perfect.
if they choose to do that.
One other comment. Will this mean I can get Chick-fil-A faster? Okay.
I mean, I think
I just wanted to see if that was part of this. I did look. I think that the turn in where it starts with 2 will be easily done, really tight with the parking lot for the coffee shop there. The turn on the back side for 2 trucks trying to get Chick-fil-A as fast as they can. That might be a little bit tighter, and I don't know if they plan on adjusting that at all. Or is it going to stay the same once they make it 2 on the entrance? Then it just stays just like it is all the way out. Is that accurate?
which it's 2 all, like once, it's 2 all the way through right now. But I think they did make some tweaks to the islands back there. That there's a transformer back there, like in their landscaping. But I think they did maybe cut the curve, that radius of that curve a little bit.
Okay, I looked at it today, and there's 2 trucks driving through that is gonna hinder me getting Chick-fil-A faster. So the purpose of it, I don't know. But if that, I just looked at it and I don't see enough room there. So that's why I was asking if they're gonna push out the turn radius on the outside of the second turn.
It doesn't look like.
That doesn't look like they're doing anything.
Yeah,
Oh,
we gotta
yes,
take
excellent.
her here.
Hi, my name's Avery Hollop. I'm with JLL. So yes, we're actually going to be relocating the transformer. So on that turn, along the back of the drive-through, we're going to be cutting into the existing, shaving back that curb to increase the turn radius, and then we've done a truck turn radius with our engineers to confirm that we should be good to go.
Perfect.
So
Thank you
we're
very
shifting
much.
the transformer, I think, a couple of feet over.
Okay.
I see where you've added a couple of feet of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. That's exactly
Okay.
my concern. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. I missed that. Marcia?
Okay.
Lily? All right. Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve.
All in favor? Passes. The next item is communications. Item A, announcement of the next Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting for Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and Thursday, August 28th, 2025. And then item B is to receive the June 2025 DRC report, the June 2025 business report. We'll stop there for a second.
Those were in your backup material. If you have any questions about those, let me know.
Okay, council liaison update. Welcome, Councilman Matrenga.
Good evening, Commissioners. I wanted to start out by first saying thank you, Marcia, Travis, and Marcus for renewing with Planning and Zoning. And I know everybody gets up here and says the same thing. I heard it a lot sitting where you're sitting, that thank you for your service, but I truly, truly mean it. Thank y'all again. Can't say it enough for being here and going through all these details. So we've had 2 meetings, 2 council meetings since I think we've been here last. And in those meetings, I'm just going to kind of combine them. The things that I wanted to pass along tonight were, we spent a lot of time talking about 4th of July in our July 7th meeting. Another great event by the city, pulling off with all the volunteers, and then the 4th of July steering committee. A lot of work by a lot of people, and if you attended the morning, afternoon, or evening performances, I did all 3, and it was great. I wanted to pass along that we did talk about liaison assignments in our special meeting, And barring any changes that are in the last minute, Trish and I will remain your liaisons.
Hard fought battle to stay here.
We did some arm wrestling,
Okay.
and we keep going back and forth on who's the lead and who's the alternate, but we're going to remain with you guys. We did kick off just going through the process of the 2025-2026 city budget. So that process has started, and we walked through a little bit about the timeline for that and getting that done in time. Let's see, we did talk also about putting together an ad hoc committee for a potential late 2026 bond election. And so we're just kind of kicking off that process and starting to discuss who might be on it and that sort of thing. And that's all I had for this evening. Thank you again.
Thank you, Councilman. Commissioner comments. Start at the far end and let's work our way over.
I have no comments. I really do appreciate staff providing us all the detailed information. Still getting my bearings here, but it's very helpful. And I will say that in advance of these meetings, I think everyone recommended that I go and drive by the properties, and that's been very, very helpful. And I've been doing that before our meetings to make sure that I really fully understand everything. So it really does make a big difference. But thank you guys for that feedback, and thank you for your hard work.
I echo that. I know how important it is to go and check the properties. I've done that from the very beginning. Learned some things today, so yeah. Thank you.
Just happy to be here. Thanks.
I'm still learning, and it's good. It's good to hear the comments because it helps me to look at things a little bit closer. And thanks for all of the prep work. It's very helpful for me to at least understand what's going to be discussed, and it's very good. Thank you.
Well, I'll add to all that. Thank you guys, all of you, for taking time to be a part of this commission. And I know it does take more time than a lot of people think.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the staff. With that comment, Aubrey?
I will echo the same comments. We appreciate all of you. We couldn't do our jobs without you, and we're not perfect, obviously. We missed some shrubs on the site plan tonight, but it's all good. That's why we have y'all. Just a reminder, the annual APA conference is coming up October 22nd to I think it's the 23rd and 24th. But I know Willie's let me know that he wants to go. So if anybody else, if you want to pencil that on your calendars, let us know, and we can get your registration going.
Okay. Karen, do you have anything?
Nothing, sir.
Becky? All right. Well, with all of that being said and done, I now call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.